Real quick, where are we at? Besides a very windy hill country day with lots of dust and nonsense, we're playing the Forgotten Battles, and I thought that we would have a quick chat about it and where we've got to and all the rest of it. If someone turns up, that's great. I didn't advertise that I was going to do this. So we'll just do a quick run through, and then if someone turns up, they can ask questions, and we'll go forward from there. So let me see if I can switch the camera. Maybe I can't. Hey there, gang. There we go. That's more appealing. Lots of glare, but let's do the best we can. I'm going to move the camera this way a little bit. All right, so we're looking east to west. First, it's the bottom of the 1st of November's turn. The Germans went second. The Soviets had initiative and took it mainly to do some pre-positioning. Probably in hindsight would have been better to let the Axis move and then take up positioning, because with the Soviets movement first, the Germans were able to see what was going on. They've begun pulling back over here, so they've created a little bit of separation, some significant separation here, kind of closing in around, I think that's Vitebsk up there, yes, and then Orsha here. So we've got a wholesale pullback to the Dnieper River. It's pretty thin here, as you can see. Now, the cool thing is, because of this concept around fronts, it's a little tricky for let me just see if I can get to the live chat up, so in case anyone does ask questions. Right, so just because we're pulling, it looks like there's big gaps here. Unfortunately, with the way the fronts work, we can only have 2 of them active at a time. And this one here is right on the cusp. This is live here. We can certainly go this way, I guess, but we've got to have our headquarters within range of the front HQ. I guess that would be the front HQ would be the right term. And so and we can't really attack if we're not activated, because there's too many penalties and restrictions to do so. So even, for instance, down here with 1st Belarus area, we can see that there's lots of little gaps and holes, but it's pretty swampy as well, although it will all freeze in the next few turns. The Germans are using that time to try and pull back a little bit here and find a new line of defense, because they were breached pretty aggressively down here. So trying to build some hedgehogs and whatnot and see how things go. But also not active, so we can move the units, but we can't really do overruns, and we can't use our air and artillery the way we normally would. So it's very limiting in our efforts. So the 2 areas that are alive right now, or have the fronts activated and can use all the air and artillery and use the big artillery barrage feature in this game, they're front-based artillery. We've got this zone here between these 2 red sticks that you can see. That's the Western Front. They were all set up to conduct their operation, and of course the Axis have pulled back there. So it's a little bit of a cat and mouse game at the moment. But the Dnieper is where the Germans are going to have to hold, and we'll see what happens from there. There's really not a lot of great terrain after that, as you probably all well know if you've ever looked at any battle maps and stuff like that. So this is kind of a do or die situation here for the Axis, and we'll see what transpires there. It's going to now, looks like it'll be 2 turns before I can really get situated to take a bite out of this now. And we'll also be actually closing in on Vitebsk. Sorry, that's Orsha there. Orsha itself. Similarly up here, just to the top of the screen, just in the glare, right there, we'll be facing off and trying to work out how we handle things. That zone up here is called 1st Baltic. Let me move the camera a little bit. almost no activity up there whatsoever. I had a look at making some attacks in the very first turn, a few turns, and it was really just looked like a meat grinder for the Soviets, and I couldn't see how we could make a lot of advances. And then there's this secondary line of hedgehogs all set up. That's how it comes with the scenario. I can see a tumbleweed rolling across my front yard. In fact, I can see two tumbleweeds rolling across my front yard. I really do live in Texas. How about that? All right. So you won't be able to see me if I hold the camera up. I'm frustrated with that area for the Soviets. Don't know how to handle it. The Germans have started to pull back slowly. They can just collapse on this city here, and that defensive line looks like just a monster beatdown. Whoa! There goes the camera. And here, I think, is on the Western Front and this second Belarus area here. I think this is where potential for breakthroughs can happen if we can make a cut here or here, get across in this clear terrain, and then try and isolate the city of, that's Mogilev right here. Actually, Mogilev and Orsha is here. If we can penetrate, cut the rail lines to each of these, then we can isolate those guys. The Germans will deploy fortress units, and we'll get stuck into the grind. So we're 10 turns into it now. I'm at the end of the movement phase for the Axis, and there'll be no air. I'm not going to use any of my air for the Germans this turn, even though we have what do we have? Full flight conditions. There's not really a lot of value in trying to DG units for the Soviets at this point, given I've got a decent amount of separation. So the only area might be here. I might try and do something, but I doubt it. Exploit and reserve phase, probably nothing going to happen there either. I could, if I had them in reserve, perhaps move a couple of the German formations, which, by the way, are almost full strength. It's amazing. There's a lot of replacement points that are coming in for the Germans, and I'm just kind of surprised. It's making me think that I can be more aggressive as the German player, which is pretty nifty. I think I can start potentially trying to mount some counterattacks if I can pick and choose where I fight. I've got 12th Panzer down here, 20th is here somewhere. I got 5th over in the swamps to the left. They're not having a whole lot of fun. They're kind of holding the line. And here's 20th, yeah. So 20th and 12th, both in reasonable shape. But what to do, right? What can I do that's going to be effective other than just killing a couple of steps, which are almost immediately replaced in the very next turn, in essence, given the way the reppels work for the Soviets. So to me, it doesn't seem advantageous to fritter away formations, even though I am picking up replacement points and whatnot. I don't like throwing stuff into the grist mill just because. So where I use those two formations, not sure. Similarly up here, I've got two formations up here somewhere, and we were moving stuff around. There's part of one there. I can't see them. 18th Panzer Grenadier is here, and there's another armored division somewhere in and amongst all these bits and pieces. I don't want to pick stuff up at the moment because I'm stretching to reach over there anyway, and I can't. Here's my tweezers, but yeah, I don't think. Yeah. Yes, I'm not going to do that. So, and I think there's one more armored formation potentially up there. I'm not too sure. You'll notice that I've taken some liberties with aircraft management. There are these airfields that are all in and around this area. Since we're out of the battlefield zone and out of the conflict zone, I'm just keeping it all lined up right here and keep stuff organized. I'm putting, the maximum amount per airfield that we're allowed, and same with these two little threes. This 1-3 is further back this way, but these guys have such range that it doesn't matter. Now, there's no chance the Germans are going to break through and capture all those airfields or do anything to them. They could potentially raid them, I guess, but there's enough air defenses and patrol zones to kind of prevent most of that happening. So we're being a little loosey-goosey with the micromanagement side of OCS, and that will probably upset or offend a lot of the diehards. But I'm playing solo, and it's about efficiency and effectiveness and getting through the turns and enjoying the game as opposed to micromanaging where the units are based and where they head to and come from and all that sort of nonsense based on ranges. Like these guys have 93 range, 93, 48. That's still well within range here, and we would have had them based up in Rosalov anyway. And then these two larger bases have all the units either 160 or 265. This guy's got a 93, but even so, that's 100 hexes. And 100 hexes is about 3 maps. So as you can see, we've got plenty of room, and there's a long way to go still for everybody. So that's kind of what's going on. If anyone's got questions or comments, I'm happy to answer them if you're curious about OCS, and we can kind of go from there. So what I need to do now, if someone does ask a question, I'll respond to it. In the meantime, I'm just marking off. I've got a chart here that I keep track of the turn phase and the supply brought in and the die rolls for the reppels and all that sort of fun stuff. And I'm just checking those off to make sure that I haven't missed anything. German supply phase, I do have to double check that. But I think everyone's going to be okay, except potentially down here in some of these areas. Let me just loosen up the camera a tad. And we can see down here, everyone's got a road or a trail access they can count back. So I can throw supply to, so that is okay. There's a slight risk here that if these Soviets get themselves, if they push up, they could cut this line here, which would be a problem for getting supply. But I've also got this rail line here that we can use. So we're really in good shape here. That's the only sort of tenuous area. Pretty tricky for the Soviets to cut supply at the moment down in the south. So I think we can safely say that everybody is in supply, and then we can roll right through reaction and combat. Do the Soviets want to do any reaction with their air? I think the detailed player would probably say at this point, Kevin, why aren't you doing some rail interdiction or road interdiction and slowing down the movement of supply and units and other reinforcements and bits and pieces like that? Given the weight of forces we have here, it's de minimis in terms of the effect that it's probably going to have. And then we've got to go through all the flak and the patrol zones and interceptions and things like that. And what typically happens when I start to get too clever with that business is that I end up losing a lot of steps. Now, there is some value in the reaction phase that I could do fighter sweeps and try and knock forces out from being able to respond next turn. And so that's something we could do. That's probably worthwhile where we're going to be attacking, but we want to do it when the turn before we're going to go into combat. So doing it now would potentially not be a lot of value here, because as you can see, we're going to be we're going to be out of range pretty much unless I'm attacking these hexes here. I'm going to be out of range with my artillery, generally speaking, because I want these Katies involved, and they have a range of 2. So we will hold off on any reaction air in this area. I don't know there's any air. There's air back here. Can you see that there? There's air back here that we could potentially knock out of the race, force them to abort. But once again, I'm not set up here because I don't have my artillery in place and they're going to have to cross the river. I'm not set up to make an attempt to do any sort of breakthrough. So I don't think it's of value. That's kind of my thinking at this point anyway. All right, so that would be the reaction phase. Then combat, there'll be none. Cleanup, nobody is DG'd on the German Axis side, I don't believe, because the Soviets used their activation to push forward. So that would be a wrap on turn 1st of November turn, and then we would go to weather, and then we can at least get some of that started. And if those folks that want to watch, we can do that. If not, tell me to shut up, and I'll turn the camera off, because having to talk the whole way through it can often lead to mistakes. But then it gives you guys an opportunity to make comments and tell me how wrong I am, which is always fun. All right, let's see. Weather is 1 die. Or is it 2 dice? I forget. Weather is always 1 die. There we go. 3, so that's going to be first. It's going to be dry again. All right, well, that's interesting. Now we're going to roll for the air. FA 7 on a dry turn is full flight, so everybody's good to go, no freeze. And I need to mark that off and say it's dry here on my chart. Now we're going to roll for initiative. It says roll 2 dice. I don't see the difference. I roll a d6 for each guy, and the Germans are the brown guy. You can't see it, but there it is. And there's the dice. The Germans pick up initiative. Now, this is great for the Germans because this gives them that double turn. They get their back-to-back action, and now I can continue as the Axis player, pulling back the forces across the line further north up there. Let me see if I can rotate the camera just a tad. Up in the north, and then reinforce this section here by getting units closer to the Dnieper so they can cross over. In anticipation, here's what we're anticipating as the Germans. The freeze, I've got 2 chances in 6 in the weather phase of it being a freeze, and then it goes to 50% as of the 15th of November, which is just 3 turns away. So the way I'm looking at this is the longer I can delay and defer the Soviets having a chance to punch hard at me, the better off I'll be. And if I can be behind the Dnieper River when we get this freeze, I can reinforce the weakest areas of the line, and we can kind of go for it from there. So I'm going to take the initiative as the Axis here. Let's see. So we'll put Axis in the first box. Cross that down. Now I'm going to roll for stuff. Now that looks like it's a used SP, so we're going to put that away. I tend to throw the SP after I spend them instead of placing them in the box, but it's a little bit naughty. We shouldn't really be doing that. But, despite the fact that I've got these 2 big freaking tables, there always seems to be never be enough room. All right, it's the bane of the war game. Here we go. We're rolling for what? We're rolling for supply, correct? Yes. I'm going to roll a 4. Not great. I'm going to make a note of that. 4. And that is going to be pretty shitty. I'll show you on the chart, because that's just below the average. A 4 is going to give me 2 SP in Minsk, 1 SP spread across the cities if I want to, and then 5 across the army HQs and groups and all that sort of good stuff. So I'm going to pull supply out. Now these get to be placed directly, so that's the good news. So there's 2. We'll just dump 2 in Minsk. I've got a big old pile of shit there that I haven't really sorted out very much because I'm just railing supply where it needs to go when I need it. And we're slowly building up some defenses there, and 5 across the spread of army HQs, and I said 1 across cities. I think what I'm going to do though, because I'm kind of lean on supply south, there's a city down here that's off camera. You can't see where 4th Panzer is. And I'm going to put 1 there and convert those 2 1s to a 2. And then at some point, we're going to build another hedgehog for that area, just off camera, right? You can't see it. Dang it. Let me just... There we go, right there. These guys back here. Got 2 SB there, HQ here. We're going to, we'll build another hedgehog here probably. I think. We'll see. All right. Hey, Achilles and Dave, good to see you, man. SES Rostov is so much fun. Could not agree more. I like that. I like that game. I'm trying to get the. Yeah, Luzon is good. Pretty sparse on the counter mix, which is nice, but it can also be a bit of a challenge to play too, because you really got to know the rules well to take advantage of the system to get any sort of historical result. All right, I've got to place 5 Army or Army Group HQ SP. This is a little tricky here. So I'm going to put, let's break this down now that I know what I'm getting. And then we're going to do the reppels in just a sec. So we're going to do 2 and 2 and 1. So we're going to put 2 here in Mogilev because I'm thin and skinny on the ground here. They get to be placed directly. There's no need to rail them. I've got another Army HQ here, back here somewhere. Actually, I've just moved it. It's underneath that hex there. Probably can't see that, but it's underneath there. So I'm going to put 2 there. And for shits and giggles, we'll put 1 up here. There's 1 way up there, but we'll put 1 here as well. And while we're at it, let's make that a 2, actually. And there's another 2. That's a 4. Let's make that a 4. Just consolidate them. Keep it a little tidier. No doubt I'll be breaking them all down in 2 seconds anyway. All right, reppels. Oh, I want a good roll for this. Let's see what that, I missed that comment. What was that about not playing? I'm looking to pick one up. Oh, cool, Achilles. Look, I would certainly not get, well, you could get this module, for instance. It's got some smaller scenarios and they're quite interesting to play. I wouldn't recommend Crimea very much. I certainly would recommend the Third Winter or the Blitzkrieg Legend or Beyond the Rhine or DAC if you can afford it. Sicily 2 is a great choice. It's a 1 mapper. It's a great, Sicily 2 is great. If you can get a copy of that, that'd be awesome. Smolensk, almost got to be an expert to play that, just because of it. To achieve anything close for the German historical, you have to know how to use the rules really well, but it's a great game. And obviously then, Case Blue and Guderian's Blitzkrieg and all that sort of good stuff. All right, Reppels. Yeah, rolled a 10. That'll do it for you. 5. I've got this cool little guy that Nate from the Gimpy Gamer sent me, which is very groovy. It's a 2d6 in 1. So 10 on the Reppels. Let's check and see what that bad boy brings us. And I have almost no eliminated units at the moment. That's how little combat's been going on. So 1 Max, 1 AR5. I'm gonna lose that. Not gonna get it. You can't. I don't think you can keep those. Maybe I'll check. Maybe I need to just double check the. Check the dead pile. Make sure I'm not missing any. All right, and then 1 air, no allies, 2 hogs, which is nice, and a special reppel. So we're going to roll again for the special reppel. And I roll a 5 on that, and a 5 is going to give me an infantry alert unit. I'm going to randomly pull one out of the tub that also has other little meeples in it. All right, we've got a little infantry alert. I'm going to put this over here with this HQ. I believe they can be placed directly there, like so. And if not, they go to an army HQ, but close enough, good enough. And I said, how many hogs? 2 hogs. I'm just going to take 2 single-step hogs. And I'm going to put them on this die to remind myself that's what needs to happen. And these are VP locations. I don't know if you've been following along, you probably know that. But if you're brand new, you're like, what the hell's going on? He has meeples on a war game. What else did I say I got? I got a PAX. So I'm going to move the PAX track up 1. I'm going to start replacing some steps for units that have step losses. Because I have 8 PAX right now. And I need to do a, you know what, I've got a dead unit here. I can use this, we can rebuild that guy for the 4th Panzer. Just got rebuilt. He can get done there. Beautiful. Actually, he's probably got to go to the HQ. I'm guessing, I forget, but we'll do that. I think the rules are different for this game than the standard rebuild process. All right. I also have, yeah, that needs to come back onto the map as well. Okay. What else did I say? I said 2 hedgehogs, 1 air. I don't think I have a surprising number of air replacements in this game for the Germans. And it's so bizarre that I've been super cautious with my air usage and not been attacking with air very much as the Germans, because the flak is so incredibly bad, nasty, because of all these new flak units that have pluses on them that affect the flak roll, that I've been very, very, very cautious. And I think I can be a little more liberal with my usage, because we do get some replacements, more than I've ever seen in any other OCS game. I don't have a replacement step to rebuild. That sucks. All right, but okay, so that's that. That was replacements. Let me just check my little handy dandy chart here. Oh, we've got to check for reinforcements for the Germans. Let's grab that. November the 5th. Probably withdrawals, I think. No, army group. Any army or army group, we get the Army Group Center ski unit, the 544. All right, well, bear with me while I find that. I'm going to guess he's probably going to need to be clipped as well. 544. Hello. Here we go. Right there. Easy peasy. And I'm going to check comments here real quick. Picked up Luzon and Sicily too. Oh, great, David. You'll love you'll love it. Yeah, and great player aids. You're right. I actually gave mine to somebody who was about to learn OCS, and they didn't have it. Anyway, okay. Any army? Well, I'm going to put this. What did I say? Any army or any HQ? What is it? Any army or army group. Army is 4, so that's going to be up here or down here. I think these guys can move 8. I'm thinking about putting it with this, with 2nd Army here, because I could then rail it up to here, or I could put it here and move down this way. Maybe up here. I think that's best. So we'll put this guy here. He's a reppel or a reinforcement into Mogilev. Jolly good. All right. Put the lid back on the units so I don't knock them on the floor, because, you know, wouldn't be the first time. And that's reinforcements and reppels. That was a great roll. What did I roll? I said I rolled 10, right? So put a little circle there with a 10. Now, we can place reinforcements, place multi-seps within 2. Don't need to worry about that. We don't need castle HQs at the moment. Don't worry about the Soviets. So now it's the movement phase for the Soviets. So let's see us for the Soviets, for the Axis. My apologies. All right, I'm not even sure. I don't think I can see how many people are watching. Maybe there's 10 or something. All right, I don't know if you guys want to see movement. It could get pretty tedious. I can't pause it here when I stop to look things up, so you're going to have to either like it or lump it. I'll just keep going until my wife will be home in maybe half an hour from her meeting, and then we'll. Once she starts walking in the door shouting and yelling, there's probably a time I'll stop. Let's see. Movement. I'm going to go, let's go south to north. That way you'll actually see something move. I just got to make a couple of notes here on my AAR notes, so just bear with me. 5th of November. Axis and starting at the south. All right. All right. And I don't know if you can see this here is that's the boundary for Army Group South, and this will continue to move westward. In fact, on 1st of December, it's going to be here. I've got that marked on the map in chalk pencil. So this will affect supply, and for the moment, it's okay because we've got a rail line all the way back here. So we're right on the edge of the map. I'm going to scoot this up a little bit without knocking stuff over, hopefully. I don't know how close you want to be, but whoa, hey now, okay. Sorry, it gets a little, when you're live, it gets a little funky. And by the way, tell me if the sound is terrible, let me know, because I can make adjustments. I need to just adjust the stand a little bit here. Hang on a second. There we go. I'm going to try and orient this. I think that's a good picture right there, and we'll see what's going on. I'm not sure too much is going to happen down here. I do want to put, see, here's that flak unit I was telling you about. See the +1? I know you probably can't see it, but a little +1 on it. That's going to add to the roll for flak if they try and attack with air. So I think I'm going to build, I've got 2 free ones, right? So there we go. Let me just double check the placement of those. I think it's anywhere on the map. So I'm going to pop this, pop that bad boy right there. That's handy dandy. That will really slow things down here. And these guys here, yeah, not super tough, but, I could put a second one there because it'll be these 2 hexes that get attacked more than likely. I think I'll wait on that and think about it a little bit. We've got a gap here, as you can see. Not something I'm too worried about given the swamp. It's going to be difficult for the Russians to stay in supply if they do head that way. So I'm not too fussed about it. I am trying to, I'd like to pull back behind this river, but it opens up this gap. There's a gap. Zoom out a little bit. There's a gap from here to here where there's just swamp. It kind of opens up a little bit back here. And then there's potentially a way for them to get supply and cause trouble. So I don't want to pull back off this line until I absolutely have to. And in particular, until I get the forces that are in and around Gomel here, just off camera to the right, out of the way. I'm potentially going to, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm thinking on the fly here, so not necessarily great tactics. No one said I played well. I'm going to continue pulling back here and trying to make a defensive line this way. Yeah, I guess we'll do this. Here's one of those units that I probably should put a reppel on. What is this guy? What is that? Who knows? All right. Okay, I need to check real quick how these packs get deployed. I think it's still got to be within 2 hexes of an HQ. Does that sound right? I can't remember. Maybe that's something I should wait on and look it up later so that we can keep playing. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a marker from somewhere. I have markers here. Here we go. And I'm going to tag this guy for a reppel, for an infantry step right there, and we'll deal with that later and keep moving. I'm going to flip this guy back over to his throwing phase, throwing side, combat side, I guess is what we should say. I'm going to move this air out of here, put it off like this. Ugh, good grief. And those guys are there as well. And I'm going to transfer this dude up to here so that he can, I'm going to put him underneath. I think it's less than half. He can still be active, but I think it is. We'll put him here. Right. All that shit can stay there. Pardon the French. People didn't know I was multilingual. Right. Gosh, there's another guy that could probably use a step. So I'm going to get a step for this guy down here as well, potentially. There's a unit here, but he's in a hedgehog. I'd like to take advantage of 12th Panzer, but now's just not the time. And all this, I'm going to move. Shoot. And this is the problem. See, right here, if I pull back across the river, I'm really isolating Gommel, and it's just a question of, do I just leave? Maybe I just pull this guy out of here. He's the only decent dude, and these two can die. And I'll spend, I'm going to have to spend an SP, and I think what I'll do is spend it from here. I'll spend an SP. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can reach it, and then they can throw. I don't want to do that though. You know what? We're just going to do this. These units. Where's this SP? This unit here. And this unit. That's 2. There's 2 T for them. Yeah, so we'll spend 1 T here, move this guy out. And we will take him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to here. If I flip him over, actually put him in move mode 7, I'm getting further. And then we'll occupy the corner there. 1, 2, 3. These 2 will fuel. We'll spend that, and they'll flip, and they will go around and land here somewhere. And 1, 2, 3, go this way. 20th Panzer, shoot, sitting out in the open, doggone it. Artillery's got to go back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I just don't want to fuel 20th Panzer and have to move it. These guys here, I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, making changes, classic, right? That's what we do for fun. How am I going to get 20th Panzer? Let me have a look and see what do we got. I've got fuel. I hate just shuffling a unit for no. All right. Yeah, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 units plus an infantry guy. So maybe I guess I spend the SP, huh? Oh. All right, where were we here? We'll fuel this guy. I'm going to leave the infantry behind. There goes any chance of doing counterattacks that are aggressive. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. If I sat there, we could cross the river. What if I sat here, stayed on this side? That's from 20th also, so we can move him into the pile. So 20th has got quite a bit of punch, as you can see. There's, well, a 257, a 347, a 65, and a 358. I've rebuilt one unit there. So that was here. I'm going to move these guys like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. See, and I need these breakdown units are crap. Look at this. I think we'll do this. It was here, right? 1, 2, can't make it. 1, 2, 3. All right. Cross the river. Cross the river. So 20th Panzer. Put that back in the on the chart, but it's going to go over there for the moment. That's all those guys moved. These guys moved. I'm going to lose that SP. Can I spend it somewhere? It's got to come from the same source. If I do anything with it. Well, let me grab a truck. Hello, trucks, 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 trucks. Here we go. Truck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11 to pick it up. So that's 11, and then 6 back is 17, and we'll drop it up there. 17, that's going to be 22, and then we will just prop that little truck bad boy right there. So that was, we picked it up from up here. All right, we're going to now push back here. I've got to start putting some hedgehogs here. In fact, why not? Put this hedgehog right here. It was the one that we received as a replacement. I'm going to push this guy to here, this guy to here, these guys to here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. See, look at all these units that have got step losses. These are all guys that we should be looking to put replacements on. And 1, 2, so 3, 1, 2. We can't go into the swamp because it'll take too many movement points. 2 to +1 to cross. So that's 2 to there, 3 to there, and I'll move this guy here. And these guys will go 1. Is there a road there too? Shoot, it's going to get messy. 1 to there. 2, 3. I guess we can do that. 2, 3. That's a lot of steps. 2, 3, 4 steps. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to push these guys back into here. Move this guy into here. Now, this big old pile, let's see what the hell is in here. What can we consolidate? You know, I've got so much supply here, it's ridiculous. So let's make change. Make that a 5. And I will spend, actually, let's see, that's got an army HQ. And this Mogilev, wow, that's really strong there. Okay. Oh, that's right. This is a reinforcement. So we will put this chap up front. We'll put him here. And this guy can go here. Oh, there's another truck underneath. Thanks. Oh, no. That's the one that moved. Here we go. This is why I need my tweezers. Got it. Now, I think we need to pop down 2 hedgehogs, and we'll put 1 here and 1 here. Actually, 1 here. And that will cost me 4 SP, so we'll take 4 out, and that's going to leave me, get 1 back, so that makes that a 2. Put that supply. I'm just going to, I struggle with cute ways to deal with all the supply nonsense. I think I moved those last turn. We can flip them over, and they can just move back out of the way for the moment. And this truck hasn't moved. We'll put him on top here. And I'm going to put the supply back. Here's what we'll do. Let's push the supply back to, oh, I can't just dump it anywhere. All right, well, fine, fuck it. All right. Now, those guys 3. We moved all of those guys. I'm going to bring these guys through 2, 3 to there. 2, 3 to there. Tedious, huh? Gonna stack this dude here. And then 1. Well, that wasn't 2, 3 because there's a railroad, but 1, 2, 3. This is close quarters. All right, the security unit. I'm going to, oh, it's 2 steps, man. That's juicy. Let's stack it with this HQ for the moment. Nope, that's got 2-step unit already. All right, I'm just going to go, was here, right? So 2 steps, 2 back. Now, these boys. 1, 2 to the road. All these are good. Oh, we've got a hole. Hello, we have a hole. Let's do that then. 1, 2. And I've got to be careful there because, and that guy can go there, because these guys are activated for combat, for their front is activated. I have my tables on wheels, and although they are heavy and don't move much, they do move a little bit, and sometimes the maps get slightly out of alignment. Oh, we got to get these guys out of here. Well, you might be a little stay behind sacrifice guy, and you can go 1, 2, 3 back to there. Flip this dude over to his combat side so he can throw further. And now I'm off screen. Sorry about that, fellas. It's hard to keep track of shit while we're doing this. All right. Now can you see? There we go. So just, I guess, dressing the lines, is that what we would say? This guy's flipped over. I want to flip him back. Here we go. I usually do this section of the map from the other side of the table because this is the limit of my stable reach. Okay, I'm going to push this back 1, 2, 3 back to here, and there's a guy here. We're going to give him a step. I'm going to make a note because I need to look up the reppels and how they're done, whether I need to be within 2 hexes of an HQ or not. I can't remember in this particular module if that's how that works. All right, I'm going to stand up. there for the moment. Okay. I'm going to move around the other side of the table. If all of a sudden the sound sounds terrible, I cannot see comments at the moment, so just bear with me and we'll get caught up now. I'll reorient myself. Where was I? Here, somewhere here, right? 25th Panzer Group is here. I need to push these back into a line here. So it's going to be, there was a way to get around all this. Yeah. 2, is that 2? Yes. No, it's going to be 3. So 3 to there. This truck can get back out of the way. We're going to throw from, there's an HQ here, right? He's got a range of 4, loser. I guess I'll take it from here. I can flip this chap up here, back over to 8. And he will go 1, 2, 3, 4. So he can throw, and we will fuel these 2. I will spend a full SP because I think there's quite a few other units that I would like to move in this area. So we're going to make that a 3. Make that a 3. And let me just see if you can still see. Looks like you can, but it's kind of distant. Oops, sorry guys. It's kind of where we're at now, I think. Right here. Okay. So I fueled these chaps, spent 1 SP, and we're going to fuel everybody that's within range of this HQ here. So these guys will go 1, 2. That's going to be heavy woods. That's going to be expensive. 2. Oh, okay, so I'm going to have to go here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that right? Is it +1? I think it's +2 for armor. Let me see. Grab a chart. Monitor +3. Dang it! All right, we're in a little bit of a pickle here, trying to get these guys out of here. Let's go this way, dumbass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.5. That was easy. You can fuel, that guy can be fueled. You okay, bud? All right. The wind, we must have like 30-mile-an-hour winds or worse here at the moment. All right, so now I'm probably going to wrap things up in a minute, but we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to there. We'll flip him over to 6. I'm not going to be able to get into these hexes with these units because it's swamp. And this is tricky. So these guys will go this way. 1, 2, 2, 3, and they'll fill that gap. Right. Now, I'm pretty comfortable with this whole Baltic area. I may just pull these guys back a little bit and reinforce down here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you can get to here. He can get to there, and we'll put this guy with this HQ just in case it gets bombed. Yeah. And I think that's pretty good for the moment. Because now we're in Baltic, and Baltic is not activated, so they're probably not going to attack. And if they did, they suffer a lot of penalties, as I mentioned previously. So I think we're good for now in this zone, and it's really just this area here that I'm most concerned about. All right, I think I'm going to stop here. It's a good place to stop. We've completed the movement phase for the Germans, for the Axis formations and side, and we can then begin to look at what's going on next. But I do want to stop and check the rules on how I do step increases here and make sure that we get that right. And then I may jump back on later on. If you want to watch, leave a comment if you want to see some more later today, and that way we'll all get motivated. All right, I'll talk to you guys all soon. Have a good one. He said, trying to work out how to stop.